Deadpool 2 is directed by David Leitch and stars Ryan Reynolds once again as the titular character. This time around, Deadpool must protect a little boy from a futuristic robot man, Cable, who is out to kill this kid as revenge for what he will eventually do in the future. I really loved the first Deadpool film. I thought it was a lot of fun back then, and I think for the most part, despite a few problems here and there, it holds up very well. The sequel was something that I was really anticipated for. The trailers and marketing were absolutely incredible. I remember watching the Bob Ross trailer and just having the time of my life watching that. That was an incredible teaser. And the joke about Henry Cavill's mustache from Justice League from the second trailer afterwards was great. The marketing for this film was perfect. The movie itself, it was good. It was a good sequel. I don't think it is as good as the first film. I don't think it has that same spark, but it is a much more character-focused film about the character of Deadpool. We learn a lot about his inner turmoil and struggle. We see him go through a big character development. There are many points of the film where, again, Deadpool is taking certain emotional moments seriously. And I think that all works pretty well, though I think you could feel his turmoil a lot better in the first film. That first film knew how to balance out all the dramatic and comedic tones perfectly, where at times in this film feels like it struggles at times despite it trying to do the same thing and push the character of Deadpool forward. But at many points of the film, it just feels like it's going for a bit too much than what I feel like it should. And that is due to a bit of poor direction from David Leitch here. I think he does a good job directing this film. I think he does the action sequences a lot better than the first movie, mostly due to it being a bigger budgeted film. It's like over $100 million here. So a lot of the effects here, while again not that great looking at times, still for the most part look pretty good. It just has a lot more really. But in terms of story and character, felt like it focused too much on the spectacle at times rather than the story. Not that it doesn't focus on story, because it does have one. And I really like what it does for the character of Deadpool. Has me care about him even more with adding in this new kid and the relationship that he and his girlfriend Vanessa has. It just doesn't have that same spark really that the first movie has. It felt like it was trying to be a Deadpool movie, then it is setting up a lot of stuff for X-Force that will never happen now. It is trying to set up the character of Domino and add in Cable and a bunch of other new characters. Dopender is really funny here. He's even funnier than in the first movie. But I don't know, just the story wasn't as strong looking back at this film as well. And I think that, I don't know, just writing here is just a little bit sloppier. It was trying to do a lot more than the first movie, which was a simple revenge story. I felt like if this sequel was again another simple story that the character Deadpool is going through, then it wouldn't be as much of a bad script. Not that the script is bad, but it can be lazy at times to the point where even some of the jokes don't work as well as in the first film. Now, it might seem like I'm being negative on this film, like a whole lot, but everything else about the film works pretty well, in some cases even better than the first movie. As I said before, while some of the CGI effects don't look that great at times, for the most part I still think it looks pretty good, and the action sequences here are visceral, they're bigger, they're a lot more extravagant. I love the fight scene between Colossus and the Juggernaut here. I love the addition to that character. He was a lot of fun. And Firestorm, the kid that Deadpool's taking care of, I really like. He'd be a bit of a brat at times, but you understand his character and what he's going through. Ryan Reynolds is still fantastic as Deadpool. I think Josh Brolin as Cable was pretty good despite his character not being that comic accurate, and I would have loved to have seen a bit more accuracy with some of the side characters, even design wise. And that's not just Cable, with him being a lot buffer than in the movie than in the comics. But Domino feels a little bit too generic, really. I don't like the costume design on her. It just felt like a regular kind of battle costume with black leather. It reminds me of the old X-Men films. I felt like they could have done something a little bit more creative with her character design. Nothing to do with the actress. I think she does a pretty good job with what she's given. But again, a lot of the costume designs I feel like could have been improved a little bit, because Deadpool is the only unique looking one here, including the rest of the X-Force, which, by the way, that scene was hilarious. A lot of the humor is also pretty funny, despite it not being as funny as the first film. There are some jokes that did get a bigger laugh out of me individually than in the first film. I think the ending, for the most part, is really satisfying. Again, the story itself just needed a lot more reworking, because while I do like this film, I really wish I could have loved it. I loved it back when I first saw it, but looking back at it now, it is just a good sequel. A good follow-up to the first that doesn't reach those same heights. And so for that, I'm going to give Deadpool 2 a B. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.